Hello YTPC, this is Steve and you're watching Smoking Cardboard. Smoking in my Bones paneled Levant. Only reserve this pipe for burleys and yeah, burleys. Mostly the amphora burley. I like that so much, but then I also smoke the Wessex burley slices in it. Until now, I'm smoking in it a different blend, the Savinelli Dablone d'Oro. This one is the choices Virginia's burleys and dark fired Canyon Leap are enhanced with an impeccable addition of spicy perique, and then aged to perfection before being spun into nicely beautiful zesty coins. And they are the Mac Baron little coins that you get in there, but it's kind of a mess. This is August of 2019, so there's a couple years of age on this one. Trusty water. It's pretty much that or tea is all I drink when I smoke tobacco. High-end Bic. So I felt like I was having a hard time tasting this blend, but I think it was because I was expecting it to be Virginians, and so I was just having a tough time tasting the burleys. I could taste dark fire. The taste was just so far off my expectations. It was just confusing. So I realized that it kind of tastes like the amphora burley to me. Amphora burley doesn't have the perique, but the perique doesn't seem to be adding much spiciness to me. Like that could have, the amount of spiciness could be just from the Kentucky, from my experience. But it said it's in there. I believe it's in there. So it could be a couple of years of age. The tin was a little bit drier than I expected just for 3 years. I feel like one of those types of tobaccos are decently moist. But these, I kind of think I have to get a jar, put it in 100-gram tin, so I probably wouldn't smoke that all before drying out regardless, but especially when it's not dry. Anyway, the smoke is tasty, just more burley and Kentucky than I was anticipating. Amphora burley is one of my favorite tobaccos in the past. So this one's tasting similar is a good thing for me. Smooth. Doesn't bite. Really roasty. Getting a lot of that dark fire wood and burley. Getting a lot of burley flavor to this. Yeah, I do kind of get nut kind of like a casing of a nut. Just kind of dry and, I don't know, tobacco like. Tastes like tobacco. Go figure. So this week, one of my pipes, I was having a little bit of trouble getting a draw. I think it was partly how I had pack. But one of the things I like to do is I have yet to really remount a pipe because of carbon buildup. But in the draft hole, I have definitely reamed it out with a drill bit. And I made this thing myself where I bought a long drill bit and just cut a hole in a piece of, this happens to be walnut, but it's just a scrap I had. And put a little piece of epoxy that I had in there. Try to make it as straight as possible. And I forget the size. I think this is like 11/32 or something of an inch. And I'll just hand drill out the air draft hole. Kind of clear out that. And keep the same amount of air flowing through that pretty consistently. I got that idea from Jay Allen, and I think that's where I got the 11/32 for a drill, because that's what he said he drilled all his pipes with, and I was like, well, if it's good enough for Jay Allen, it's good enough for me. So I've pretty much went with all my pipes and did that. Most of them must be smaller, because I take off a little bit of wood the first time, which, being a filtered smoker, I think the size of the draft hole is very inconsequential to me. I don't think I'm ruining anything by doing that, and I certainly don't notice a experience difference. But it is something that time to time I do, even though I have yet to really ream my pipes. But I need to, I think, I'm getting to the spot where I need to. Some of them, bits of it have broken off, the carbon buildup and stuff. So I think I'm about to that. And I think I would like to get one of the pipe knives. So with a flat knife, I could just kind of lightly scrape at it, rather than take a whole thing that's grinding the whole thing out. I know that I can't remember if it's Brighter Blues or someone suggested just using sandpaper because it's a lot harder to damage your pipe, and it works pretty well. So I've done that a little bit. I do that in the meerschaum that I have, where I feel like there's some material in there I can't get off. Just use a little piece of sandpaper, take it off. But anywho, I was I guess I lost my track of mind. Sorry. It's multiple topics I'd like to talk about, so it's kind of choosing which one I'm going to talk about. I guess the first one is I really appreciated the video that JC Pipes and Knives, or is that what it is? He was kind of calling people to be of higher class and dealing with these small batch feelings, or how we treated each other one way or the other, if you're for them or against them, or so on and so forth. It seems like every single time a small batch comes out, which is quite frequent, everyone's just crying about this, that, and the other. The hoax that is this thing, or I couldn't get that tobacco, or it's $1 more expensive, so I'm upset about that, or I don't know, whatever it is, or man, C&D's horrible company, or maybe they're fine and some people love them and all this stuff. Appreciate everyone doing their reviews and their opinions of I think need to be careful of unnecessarily putting down, making people feel bad for participating or in buying it and enjoying it, or feeling bad, making people feel bad because they don't like it as much as you like it, or they don't like it at all. I don't know. I appreciate people's opinions and reviews, and I totally see it as that. But whenever someone says, you know, C&D's a trash company that makes trash tobacco, I kind of view that as, well, that's your opinion. It's pretty short-sighted, but whatever. Not going to sit here and argue about it. Their sales numbers will tell them partly if they're doing something good or not. So, as always, you have the power to speak with your money. So, you should, I'll put a link to his video. I'll try to remember that. The other thing I was going to talk about was I had saw a question on Reddit. And this question you see all the time from new pipe smokers that say, I just started smoking a pipe. And he seemed to already done some looking a new different styles of, or at least one style of packing method. And so he was saying that he had to do a lot of relights, and he was wondering if he was doing something wrong, that he shouldn't be doing so many relights. And it was kind of interesting because it seems to be a thing that made me think about why someone starts pipe smoking or keeps on pipe smoking. Because it's almost like the act of doing it well seems to be the initial goal. I want to do this pipe smoking well. I want to get that just pleasure of looking like I know what I'm doing, or I want it to be relaxing and less effort than it appears that it is when you're first trying it out. And I think it was interesting because, you know, I always feel like, well, it's the wrong question, you know. The real thing is, you know, are you getting the best flavor out of your tobacco? Or at least that's what I would say. But how do you, as someone who doesn't smoke tobacco, know what flavor exists to be there? It definitely could appear that tasting smoke isn't going to be all that tasty. So you're not expecting big flavors. And if you're tasting anything, you might not even be able to pick it out in what you're smoking. But still, this whole idea of How do you know what you don't know? As a new pipe smoker, you don't know that you're missing out on the flavors. You don't know what real flavors are supposed to be had in this pipe tobacco. And that's probably why they go mostly for the aromatics as they process and try to smoke a blend. And maybe the flavor's there of the aromatic, maybe it's not, but generally it's pretty hard to pull out those flavors. And the idea of looking at those different descriptions of the non-aromatics can be pretty unappetizing. So it's tough. It's tough to teach someone that you should be chasing the flavor, not how many times you have to relight your pipe. If you have to relight your pipe a bunch, that's fine. But you really want to go for the taste and learning to sip your pipe and tamp appropriately and pack your pipe. That helps your experience. It just takes a lot of time. But I'm not sure how long smoking your pipe without some sort of guidance would you realize some of the different flavors that are hidden in these tobaccos. And I say hidden because it's not everybody can taste them, and not even each other as well-seasoned pipe smokers taste the same things in blends. And I'm not sure if some of that's because of different ways that they pack or smoke their pipes. They're different palates that they have acquired through the foods that they eat or just natural genetics. But it's interesting to think about how that applies to other areas. What other things are you kind of focusing on the wrong thing? You're missing the boat. You don't know to reach or search for the thing that you don't know. How do you know what you don't know? How would I know pipe smoking would be so relaxing? How do I know which foods I do or do not like? Maybe I dislike food because of the way it's always been prepared. But there's so many different ways to prepare it that it could become one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just encourage you new pipe smokers to keep with it. And it's good to get familiar and comfortable with the sipping of the tobacco and trying to just get that down in lighting and tamping. And if you stick with it, you'll learn things, and you'll have experiences where you taste things that you've never tasted before. And as you try different things, it gets pretty interesting, trying the taste Virginia's, Burley's, Kentucky's, Orientals, Latakia. But it's hard to go for something you don't know that's there. So don't worry quite as much about the relights. Although a pipe that won't stay lit is probably an issue with either your packing job or how wet the tobacco is, or if something's blocking your passageway, which has nothing to do with how you pack it necessarily. So that said, I'll let you guys go. Hope you're all well. Talk to you later.